Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about is IFRS 8 operating segment. So for this topic, the main things we have to know is a segment is reportable or not. This is the one big thing we have to learn from here. From the IFRS 8, it said is there are credentials to tell, quantitative credentials to tell us when we should report the segment. Is their first one is it said segment's total revenue is 10% of or more of the total combined revenue. And second criteria is the absolute amount of the report profit loss is greater or equal to 10%. And the last one is IFRS 8 is said is assets are 10% or more of combined asset of all the operating segment. So that are the quantitative part when we analyze whether this segment has to be reportable or not. And so beside we can do the quantitative analysis, IFRS 8 also give us another credential to help us if the quantitative analysis did not matter. And it said is entity has the option to combine the operating segment. And those operating segment is do not meet our quantitative threshold, but they have similar in the following respect. What kind of similarity can make them to be reported as a combined operating segment is we can consider is the nature of the product and service, and the nature of the production process, the type or class of customer, and the method used to distribute their product. The last one is the nature of the regular environment. So if when we analyze for the IFRS 8, we found under the quantitative analysis part, we cannot get is the segment is reportable. Not just conclude, yeah, this has not to be reported, but also consider another additional is to see if the combined operating segment if they have any similarity in the following perspective. So those are the majority and the most important things we have to learn from our IFRS 8 operating segment. So now let's see a small question. Okay, just take a small multiple choice question as an example. We see ABC company has 5 operating segments, and each of them produce different product. So why they say that each of the segment produce different product, it means they will just let the entity knowing that is do not consider if they have any similarity. Okay, so then we only focus on the quantitative part to analyze if they are reported separately. So for the segment A, it has revenue and $100 and total asset $200. Segment B, 100, 150. Segment C, 320 and 700. D is 540, 1,000, and E is $80 and 250. Let's just quickly recall what we talk about from the IFRS 8. It said is when we should determine the segment is reportable is, first of all, we can consider if the segment's total revenue is 10% or more than the combined revenue. Because in this small case, it told us each segment's revenue. So now the revenue part we can use to do our testing. And we can use individual, we can sum up all those segments and getting the total and see if we got 10% or more. And another criteria is said, assets are 10% or more of the combined. So because in this case, it also gives us the asset. And we can also testing if our revenue testing for the quantitative part is not met. Then the next one is we should use assets to do second testing. And if in the case or if in our exam, it also provides us with the profit and loss. So we have another, the third testing to do. We can do the profit and loss and see this can match. So here they only give us 2, so we just using these 2. So usually we will just set up a very small table to getting our conclusion, getting our calculation. So we can see like a segment. And then what we have here is I have total revenue and also I have total assets. That's all I have here. So what I should doing is I just want to test if the individual segment revenue or total asset is meet the threshold. So segment we have is A, B, C, D, E. And the revenue is $100, 100, 320, 540. $80. So that is the individual segment. And for the total asset, we have 200, 150, 700, 1,000, and 250. So then next is we just do the sum. So after we doing the sum, the last one we have to do is doing our threshold testing. I say if the revenue over the each individual segment revenue over the total is more equal to or more than 10%, or the asset is meet the threshold. So we have to do is just using the individual revenue divided our total and getting the percentage and to see if this percentage is meet our threshold. Okay, so let's just stop here. We can see from the total revenue testing, we can see is segment C and segment D, they met what we need because they are more than 10% threshold. And the rest A, B, and E, they has less than. So which means from the revenue testing, we cannot separately report A, B, and E. But we also have another testing for our asset. Let's do the testing. Okay, if we're using the asset as our testing, I can see is include beside our C, D, and E, our C and D, our segment E also meet the threshold for this testing. So after I'm doing the two testing, one is revenue testing and the other is the total asset testing, I can conclude is based on quantitative segment testing, I can say is segment C, segment D, and segment E can be reported separately. So that is how we quickly and simply to doing the question for the operating segment. Hope that is help. And if you have any question, please leave your comment below or please contact us. Thank you. Have a great day.